Hi everybody, I'm the Mike.
And I'm Shawnda.
Welcome back. We're going to be doing a video today on gender roles, and we're going to go ahead and talk to you guys about how we feel about the difference in gender roles and, kind of dissect our outlook and opinions, because we are going to get married eventually, and we would like to go ahead and share that with you guys. We know it's a big issue, so.
It is.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Well, I got to say, I guess for me, I was always brought up to believe that the man works, the woman stays home and cooks and cleans and stuff like that. How about yourself? How were you brought up?
I was brought up in a single mom household, so I never really got the talk in reference to what a gender role was or what's supposed to be done by the male versus the female. I guess I could say that I was raised on the independent woman that does everything, which I don't think is a good thing, in my opinion. So as I got older and I got introduced to gender roles, with me following along in my faith, they kind of give you certain gender roles that you're supposed to, kind of go by. But eventually, like you said, like we're in 2022, right. And we've learned that just because, our grandparents or our great grandparents did things one type of way, that doesn't mean that it's conducive to our lifestyle or the way that things are to be done now.
Right.
So it's like I kind of struggle with the gender role thing. I'm kind of like, so let me ask you, as far as gender roles, because we are engaged, and I think that this is a really important conversation to have before you even get engaged, because some people think that once you get married, like for example, the man is supposed to provide, bring home the bacon, and the woman is supposed to stay home and cook and clean and raise the kids. So I feel like it's really important to know what type of person you're dealing with at the very beginning. So that way, if you get engaged to be married and then you get married, you're not getting ambushed by these expectations that you guys never talked about. So I didn't ask you my question. So I kind of went to a point. So what is your belief, I guess, in gender roles when you get married to somebody?
Well, I've always been taught that the man's supposed to lead and he's the head of the house and stuff like that. And to an extent, I can kind of agree a little bit as far as, if you're going to lead. However, having said that, though, I can't stand the thought of feeling like I'm more superior than my spouse. Like, I feel like we should be equal. I feel like, yes, I do work, but I can also clean and I can also cook. I don't feel like you should have to be faced with doing everything. I know that being a sit-at-home mother is not an easy job. I know that's not an easy job. And it really sucks, because growing up, our past generations and stuff like that put a lot of stuff into us that I don't quite agree with now.
Yeah.
I really don't. And the way that women have been treated and stuff like that. I was raised by my mother, and for a long time, don't get me wrong, I did believe that the man works, the woman cooks and cleans when I was young, but that's what I knew. Now, as I started getting older, my mom started teaching me how things are with women, and I started actually getting to a place where I can kind of connect, and stuff like that. And she started showing me how to be independent, but also how to treat a woman and how to love a woman the same. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is I like the equalness. I like to be able to balance my relationship with you. I like to be able to come home and cook dinner. I like to be able to clean and help out. I don't want you to have to wake up and look around and be like, man, it's always a mess, and I'm always doing this, I'm always doing that. And I don't want it to be that way.
Yeah.
I
feel that we also have to go back to what kind of created gender roles, right? So even back in the day, like hundreds of years ago and stuff like that, you have to remember women didn't have rights. So it wasn't like you could just go out and get a job, go get a bank account, hundreds of years ago, didn't have bank accounts maybe. But you get the point. Like, you couldn't just go out and do for yourself, right? And you were the person to take care of the kids, to nurture the kids, take care of the household, and the man would go out and, make the money or bring home the food or, whatever. And I feel that as time has, adapted, it's like women can kind of do the same things that men can do at this point, so it's not really necessary to have the basic gender roles that used to be a thing.
Right.
Like even back in the 1950s, women had to have a man to get a bank account, right? So it's like certain things that cause you to be stuck in that gender role versus now we have options as a woman.
Right.
A man has options now where they could be a stay-at-home dad versus having to go out and make the money for the family. So it's really just depending on who you're with and what their views are. My view is, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like that?
No. Actually, honestly, I just want to speak on this real quick. I feel like you have to make it the way that you want to make it. It's got to be conducive to your household, your nature, and stuff like that. And the reason why I say that is because one of the biggest issues I've had in relationships whenever I was young was the fact that I didn't like my spouse at that time making more money than me and stuff like that. We were trained that I'm the breadwinner. I'm the one that does this. I'm the one that does that. And what ended up happening, and I don't know, I can't speak on everybody, but what ends up happening is you start to have conflict with your spouse because you're in competition with your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because, like with Lashawnda, I absolutely love her, and I really want to see her succeed. I don't want her to be, reliant on me. I don't want you to be dependent on me at all. I want you to be independent.
I don't want to be independent no more. No, I'm just being. I done rode that ride. Yeah, but go ahead.
Go ahead. That's what I had to say.
Okay, so I get where he's going, but I think that it can also kind of hinder as a woman to try to do everything independently or go into a relationship as if you're not in a partnership, right? Because at the end of the day, you help me, even if it's not just financially. Like there's a certain balance, right? Where I love the fact that he likes to cook because I don't like to cook like that. I will, but I might cook once or twice to your 4 times a week. And to me, that balances it out. But that wouldn't be deemed the traditional in a gender role type of basis. You know what I'm saying? Because it would be like, oh, well, the woman needs to be cooking for you every day and da-da-da-da-da. And so I think that we balance each other a lot in reference to the partnership. Right. We don't look at it in reference to this. Well, I can't even say that because it's certain things you do. Because I will say, like, as far as having a man that's a provider, like, that's really important to me. But I already know based on my goals, based on what my journey is, and he's already aware as well. Like, one of my goals is to be making 6 figures. My goal is not to be like, I'm not bringing home any money and I want you to bring home all the money and pay all the bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, to me, it's like that would be great for someone that wants that. Now, obviously, I want you to bring home some money, but I'm still going to be bringing home money as well. Like, I'm still going to be working on my business and trying to be successful and trying to launch stuff.
Right, but that's why I said I want you to be more independent. Because you're gonna have to be independent if you want to make 6 figures. You can't make 6 figures be independent.
Yeah, but I want to depend on you.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not saying don't depend on me. I don't want you guys watching this to get the wrong idea. I'm not saying that at all. I definitely want you to depend on me. But what I'm trying to say is I want you to be solid. Because when my parents passed, neither one of them were solid, and when one fell, the other one fell, and I don't want that to be a case in your lifetime. You know, if I go before you, or if anything were to happen in this lifetime, I want to make sure you're good.
Well, I guess when
So,
I hear independent, I think of the I don't need no man. I could do all of this myself type of mindset. So when I hear the word independent, I associate that word with I don't
right,
need a man. I could do all of this without you. And my thing is, I don't want to do all of this without you. Even if I can, I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to
right,
be able to maybe come home and 1 month be like, babe, I really want to pursue my business. Like, I really want to be able to do this. But like, as of right now, I'm not working, right? And so he's like, I got you. I got your back. I'm going to go and do this. He got a better job. You know, like it's just like that balance, right? And
right,
so I'm dependent on your success in your area in order for us as a partnership financially to
right.
stay afloat. And so that I guess that's how I view it. I view an independent woman more so as if not wanting the help of a man.
Right.
That's how I view it.
Right, right. But and I absolutely agree with you. I just wanted you to look at it as being in a position to be like, I want to be here, not that I have to be here. And that's what independent, that's what I mean by that. Like, if you got you and you don't have to have me, but you choose to have me, that's the kind of lifestyle I want you to have. You know, guys, and I'm gonna be honest with you. In this relationship, one of the things that makes it very easy, like she was saying, right now she's kind of pursuing her thing, and I'm kind of, you know, forking the rest, you know, to kind of balance her out. I have to say that this relationship has been very rewarding, though. Like, she has balanced me whenever I was low on funds, or whenever I was transitioning from a job to another job, or getting myself together and stuff like that. And now I'm balancing her while she's transitioning into the next phase that she needs to. And I really feel like in relationships, if you know, the modern society right now is extremely difficult. Life is hard. Gas prices are high, apartments are high, rent's high, food's high, everything's high. And in this world, I believe you really need to have a partnership if you're going to make it, especially if you're going to make it to the level that you want to make it to. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it by yourself, of course. However, having said that, if you get into a relationship like what me and her are into, and we're wanting to reach this right here, well, sometimes it's going to take a little bit of leeway. It's going to take a little bit of, hey, I got you right here, so you can step right here. And then she'll be like, I got you right here, so that you can step right here. And eventually what winds up happening is we keep giving each other the stones that we need that helps us climb as high as we need to go.
Yeah.
So I really do feel like that's a great balance that me and you have. And that's why I say, you know, with the whole gender role thing, it's not just, you know, cook, clean, you do this, you do that. No, this is a partnership. This is my best friend, and this is my spouse that I get to come home to every single day. And as long as I'm supporting her and making her happy, and she's supporting me and making me happy, our cups are full.
Right.
And I think that's honestly why we love doing these videos with you guys. And why when people come around us, they're like, man, y'all are just so bubbly and happy.
Yeah.
And, you know, but honestly, it's because of that. You know, we're really invested in filling each other's cups. And I feel like that's a really big thing that a lot of people from, you know, the old way of things didn't really take in consideration, you know.
Right, right. So what is your view on 50-50? Because we've had multiple debates in this area.
I believe in 50-50. I do believe that we both kind of hold together to get to where we need to be. Now, if I get put into a position where financially I can afford, you know, to kind of take the lead, then absolutely I would like to do that. However, having said that, I want to make sure that I can get to a position to where not only can I take care of you, but I need to be able to take care of myself. I need to be able to, if I want to get outfits, or I want to get dressed up, or I want to be able to, not just little things. It's not even really big things. But I do feel like we need to kind of pull together to make these things happen for both of us. Like, if you want things and, you know, go shopping or whatever it is that's important to you, I feel like at that moment in time, I need to pull whatever I need to pull together as well to make sure that you get what you want, and vice versa.
Okay. So my view of 50-50 has gone up and down throughout time. I feel like by default, I've always done the 50-50, and I've never really considered anything different until I was exposed to the fact that some people don't do 50-50.
Right.
So kind of like what you said, if given the opportunity, like let's say you're making like way more than me, like just blowing me out of the water, I definitely believe that it shouldn't be 50-50 at that point, because you're able to
Right.
pay the bills and still sustain yourself and still, take care of your spouse in that manner, right? And also, I will say this, if it is that type of situation, I do feel that gender roles do kind of come into play a little bit with that, because if someone is providing everything financially, even down to the point where they're giving their wife an allowance, because apparently that's a thing, like where people are married and their husbands give their wife an allowance, which I get it. Like, you should be able to spend money doing your thing, if they're bringing home the money. But then I do feel like maybe you should make sure your man eat. And it don't even mean like you have to cook every day. Just make sure he got some food. If it needs to be takeout or catered, or like just make it happen though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like then it would be a matter of, I wouldn't mind making sure your clothes are washed or dry cleaned or whatever, because you're providing financially.
Right. And that's your way of providing. I get what you're saying.
Right. So I feel like gender roles would be a little different in that, but with the 50-50 scenario, I feel that it's more of a partnership, like kind of like what we have, because we are building towards something bigger, where once it gets to a certain point, then the roles may shift here and there. You know what I'm saying? So that's my view on 50-50. I feel like it's your preference, right? Don't listen to all these videos, because I had some videos that had me thinking I wanted something I really didn't want, right? And at the end of the day, in your gut, you know what feels the most comfortable for you, right? And inflation, like at this point, if you are middle class, or was it lower class?
Yeah.
Or poverty class, whatever. If you're below high class, you're struggling a little bit, and so it's unrealistic, in my opinion, to want a certain lifestyle for you and your spouse if based on the terms of what's going on right now in the world, that's not conducive or realistic at that point.
At that point,
you know what I'm saying?
And not only that, but like I was saying earlier, one of the things another thing that I do admire about the way that we handle things on our end, and like she was saying, you got to do what's good for you. Like what we do might not work for you,
right?
And what other people do on YouTube might not work for you,
right?
And that's kind of what we're trying to establish now, is just go with the flow of what is natural for you and what works for you. With me and her, yes, we want to get up here, but the good thing about me and her is when the opportunity comes up for me to jump, I jump. And then when the opportunity comes for her to jump, she jumps. And we allow each other to do that at that time. And because, sometimes opportunities come up, and what's really great about us is we push that opportunity.
Yeah.
Like my new job or whatever, when that happened, she was like, no, go ahead, do this, because you're going to be happier.
Right.
And then whenever she wanted to jump on her business or whatever, I was like, no, do this. This will make you happier. And at the end of the day, it just kind of shows what kind of love and dedication that you have for one another. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now if I didn't have the help of her. I really wouldn't be.
Yeah.
So it really did help having somebody like her in my corner. And I'm sure it helped vice versa to have somebody that was able to support her as well and what she wanted to get accomplished.
Yeah. Now I will say, going back to the independent thing, it is, to me, getting pretty tough trying to keep up with making sure I make a certain amount, to provide or, cover my portion. But that's just because it seems like the more you're making, the more that's being taken and like expenses, bills, gas. You know, so it's almost like we're on this race to hit the finish line of being financially stable. And it's like, you'll be like, oh, I just got this raise. This is great. Or I just got this better job. And then they raise the gas prices to $5 a gallon.
Eggs are now
like
$12 for
right. So it's like, and that's why I have such high goals. Like I want to hit 6 figures. I want to hit beyond 6 figures because I don't want this to be an issue anymore. I want to be able to stay home. COVID really taught me when I was able to stay home with my kids and not have to go out to work and take the kids to school and do all it. It really taught me how much I love that life. And I thought as I was growing up, like in my early 20s, that I would hate being like a stay-at-home mom. I'm like, I do not want that lifestyle. I want to be able to go out and work. I want to be able to provide that way, get a break from my kids, That's what I thought I wanted until I was forced to be around my kids 24/7. I love my kids. Don't get me wrong, but like I just envisioned like I was going to be a working parent. I was going to be a working mom. Even if I had a spouse that was like, I'll pay for everything, I wanted to be independent. At that point, I wanted to be independent. I don't want to rely on nobody. I don't need no man. Like that's what my mindset was. But after COVID, I was like, ooh, that's really when I learned how to cook the way that I cook now.
Yeah.
I was given the opportunity to take a break. And I feel like it's been really hard for me to work now because I know what that felt like now. You know, like now it's hard for me to go back into the workforce and roll my sleeves up and do that kind of hard labor now because I enjoy the home lifestyle. That's why I'm going nowhere.
Yeah. And I'm telling you,
go nowhere no more.
In the rat race now, when you get into the work environment, that seems like that's all you do. It really does. It really seems like that's your life. You go from check to check. You make just enough to make it to the next check. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard to learn how to manifest yourself out of those situations. I definitely want to get to a point of financial freedom, not because I don't want to work. I actually want to get to a point of financial freedom only because I want to be able to bless other people with my pockets. Yeah. I've had a lot of good people in my lifetime, and I want to be able to return the favor. I want to be able to do things for people that can't do for themselves. So that's kind of my goal on where I'm wanting to go with it. So another thing that I think is really important is how you treat your spouse. A lot of times,
that's a good one.
Yeah, a lot of times I see, some people that yell, cuss at their spouse, and treat them a certain way, or I'm the man, so you should listen to me. This is how it goes. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. What you're gonna wind up pushing is her into another man's arms is what's gonna wind up happening. Let me tell you, from my previous experiences, the way you treat your spouse definitely reflects on how you think about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that hands down.
Yes, I agree. Because if you hate yourself, then you're going to be hateful in nature. And you're going to be that way towards anybody that's actually close to you. Mm-hmm. And, another thing that I found, this is one thing that she taught me as far as like losing your cool, getting mad, is we tend to take it out on the ones that are closest to us.
Yeah, even I used to be really bad with that.
Yeah. I think you get a comfortability with the person that you love, and therefore whenever you do, have a breaking point or you want to flip out, you take it out on that person.
And you feel the safest with that person because you know they're going to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
But what you don't want to do is you don't want to cut open. Scars, they may heal, but they're still there. Yeah. And you don't want to create scars in a relationship with somebody that later on down the road, because enough scars and whatever it is going to go away.
Yeah.
That person's going to leave. That person's not going to be happy. And from everything that I've been through, I realized being happy and my peace is the most important thing in the entire world to me right now.
Right.
And that's including relationships, friendships, anything. If it affects my peace, I let it go.
Yeah.
Period. So, after everything that we've talked about, being supportive, of course, is great, but also being respectful is just as important as being supportive.
Yeah.
Because I can support her all day, but if I don't treat her well, then none of that matters.
Right. I have one too that I would like us to hit on. So, what is your view on because you mentioned earlier about being a leader and being the lead in the household. And I think some people take that and run with it. So I want to kind of circle back on that real quick. What is your view on, as a man, because I do agree with, as far as the gender role, let the man lead, let, him be the leader in a relationship, da 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 da. But what is your view on decision making as the lead of the relationship, or as the lead of the family and stuff like that?
So I feel like the decision making can be for the guy, but it needs to be for instance, I believe that the decision making could be for me, for the household, but I think it needs to be discussed with you. If that makes sense.
Absolutely, it makes
because
sense.
I don't want to sit here and say this or that, or we're going to do this is how it's going to be done, without discussing with you about it. Because if you're low-key not happy about it, then ultimately that's going to result in resentment and stuff like that. At some point in time, eventually that will result into that emotion. And I'm going to tell you guys, resentment is a very hard emotion to get rid of. Very hard.
That's a really good one, because I remember, like, when I was really into the church and really trying to do things the right way that I was taught, and one of the things that was brought up was, let your man lead, let him be the lead of the relationship, da 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 da. I remember being in a relationship with a person that really showed me what that looked like firsthand, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it the way that I was experiencing it with that person, because, and what I mean by that is, as far as decision making, some people believe that, like, if I'm providing financially, I should be able to make decisions without consulting you, because it's my money, right? As a man. So if I want us to live in this house now in Texas, then we're moving to Texas. And even if you don't like it, well, I'm the lead of the household. And so I get to make those type of decisions, right? And this person kind of gave me that energy, like, I'm going to make the decision and you're going to come along, right? And I realized, okay, I need to be more specific about what I want in leadership. And that's why I really like our relationship, because even though we have discussed this topic, it's like, I know that Michael will have a conversation with me before he makes any kind of decision. Like, any kind of decision. And this was before we even got engaged. Like, he would come and be like, hey babe, so I'm thinking about doing this, what do you think? And it's just the thought. It's the thought of, let me consult with my partner and see how they feel about this before I make this big decision that I really respect in our relationship. Because it's not something that I'm having to be like, babe, why didn't you tell me about that? You know what I'm saying? It's never been something where we had to make a change in that area. Like, he naturally does that. And I realized that's the type of leadership that I want. And most of the time, when he asks me, I'll be like, I'll share my opinion, but then I'll be like, but you do what you think is going to be best for you. You know what I'm saying? You do what you think is best, right? Because I want Michael to know that I trust your leadership. So whatever decision you make, I'm going to give you my viewpoint to give you some more nuggets to think about, but I want you to make the decision.
And you got to take consideration too that, sometimes it's nice just to have the option to be able to put input. And what I mean by that is, when she went looking for apartments, she fell in love with this one apartment. This is before we got the house. And she told me about it over the phone. And she wanted to wait till I got off of work to come look at it. I told her, no, go get it. Go ahead and get it. I'll sign with you.
And
it's because I really trust her judgment. We have a lot in common. And if she loves it, I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. Just based off of our interactions and the things that we like and stuff like that. But it was very nice that she called and said, hey, I'll wait till you get off of work. And that's what I mean by that. Giving the other person just the option to speak about it. You know, sometimes it ain't even got to be, I said this because of this.
Right.
It could be, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think?
Right.
Just given that right there shows how much I respect and adore this individual.
Right.
That's why I said communication is such a big deal. Discuss things.
Because you have to talk about so many things in a
really
relationship. And you're not going to agree with everything, but in communication, you're not being left in the dark on how someone feels or what someone's viewpoint is or what's going on with them and things like that.
And that brings up a really good point. You know, outside of communication, I think one of the other most important things is compromise. Because yes, you can communicate, but we don't always agree on everything.
Right.
So at some point in time, you have to bend. And you can't be the only one bending, because if you're the only one bending, you'll eventually break.
You will. Absolutely.
So I feel like another thing that's really great is being able to discuss things. And if we don't like it, then we'll figure out what's the better route for both of us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, compromise is definitely a big deal.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
that was really
I did good. High five.
He did. So is there anything else you want to cover? I think we covered a lot. Man,
we did good. We really did.
What's your viewpoint on gender roles? What do you feel each partner should do in a relationship, especially in a marriage, right? We want to know your thoughts. We want to know, because everybody is different. You know, some people like, hey, I want you to pay all the bills so I can live my life, and I get it. Okay, like I get it. I just feel like if a part of your cup is full in one area, the cup is going to be a little low in the other areas. Right. So you have to figure out what's more important to you. I am really glad that although, you know, initially I thought I wanted like, oh, you pay all my bills and I'm going to live my life. I realized that sometimes when you get that, you don't experience true love, and sometimes you don't even experience faithfulness or commitment. So you have to really be careful which pieces you want to add.
And keep in mind, everybody, we're all human. Like, seriously, the things that I wanted and the things that I was going to aspire to be when I was younger is not who I want to be now. Right. And then, like she said, you know, she looked at things a certain way when she was younger, but then she had to figure out what was more important. Do I really want these things over here, or could I have a little bit of this over here with all of this over here? It really depends on what is important to you. And like I said, we change our minds daily. We do. So we just kind of roll with it. But no, I think we did good and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, leave us a comment. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure you click the subscribe button, because we never say that. We're going to say it.
The subscribe button.
Yeah, we never say hit subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
We, at the time of recording this video, we are almost at 2,000 subscribers. Yeah, we're at like 1930, I want to say.
We got past 19?
Yeah, we're at 1930 right now. Yep.
Yeah, so come on, man. Subscribe.
Go ahead. Hit that
be
subscribe.
A part of the family.
I know, right?
What are y'all waiting on?
Yes, and if you are new to the channel, go ahead and binge watch our other videos.
Absolutely,
real quick. You know
absolutely.
What I'm saying? See what we got. But until next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.